Tonight, the biggest star in boxing, Tank Davis. And joining the beat of the game is Miami resident hip-hop star, influencer Ruby Rose.
We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo.
Wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
The face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis on Netflix quickly turned intense and caught everyone's attention. The tension was clear as Tank suddenly pushed Jake during the stare-down, proving the fight had real emotion behind it, not just hype. The two traded words right after, showing both confidence and irritation. Many viewers noticed how small Tank looked next to Jake, calling the size difference shocking. Others argued that height and size might not matter much if Tank's timing and skill could balance things out, making it a fairer fight than it seemed.
At the end of the day, I gave this little guy an opportunity. He should be thanking me. I'm paying him. I'm his boss. He reports to me, and I'm going to fucking son him on November 14th. So fuck you, little man.
You paying me? Are you paying me?
Yeah.
100%? 100%. Facts?
Correct.
Yes? Correct?
Correct. I'm your daddy.
Teddy Atlas, a veteran trainer and commentator known for his sharp opinions, analyzed the Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis face-off and focused on the huge size difference. He said Jake towered over Tank and joked that Davis would need a ladder just to reach his chin. Atlas explained that while boxing is about skill and willpower, size still matters when the gap is that big. He compared it to when Canelo Alvarez moved up to fight Terence Crawford, but said even that wasn't as extreme. In his view, this matchup looked unfair from the start. Davis may have the skill and power to surprise anyone, but against someone as tall and strong as Jake, Atlas believes it's a mismatch from the beginning.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, all kidding, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance, you know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but you know, a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think. And I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me. It's Rocky III.
Boxing coach Greg Hackett shared his confidence in Gervonta Davis's mindset. According to him, Tank isn't distracted by the noise or Jake Paul's hype. He knows exactly what he's after and how to get it. Reports from his training camp say Davis has been working with total focus, showing no signs of taking Jake lightly. Sparring partners describe him as sharp and tense, and constantly pushing his limits to be ready for anything.
It's something for you new to do to try to keep you fresh and this and that, keep your name hot. You got to stay in the algorithms. You know, it's just a lot of pressure on fighters. And I feel like Tank being at, what is he, 30 years old? And you got kids. See, what people forget about is it come a time in a man's life where he just wants to slow down. You know what I'm saying? We can't all run around like we used to back in the day. I mean, that's tough to do. Sometimes you just want to sit down, enjoy your fruits. And I feel like that could be what he's going through. He want to just enjoy the fruits of his labor and enjoy life. And people people don't want to hear that because they feel like you got more work to do. But it's his life.
People who watched Tank at press events also noticed how calm and steady he seemed, focused, but relaxed, showing he understands how big this fight is. For him, it's not just about money or fame. It's about proving he can perform anywhere against anyone, under any spotlight. A win here could boost his name beyond boxing, putting him in the same global spotlight as influencers, while showing that real skill still beats hype.
In the press conference, and you can tell, you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson. First of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul.
Former heavyweight boxer and coach Eddie Chambers give a more balanced take on the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis fight. He reminded fans that history has plenty of examples of smaller fighters beating bigger ones. Chambers said people talk too much about size and forget that timing, technique, and intelligence often decide fights. He gave examples of disciplined fighters who outsmarted stronger rivals. He believes Jake's height and reach could help early, but Tank's quick feet and sharp timing could close that gap fast. Chambers said fights aren't won by size, but by how you perform under pressure. He concluded that while Jake's size helps him, Tank's precision and instincts could make him the more dangerous man once the fight begins.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference, and all that. But he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. It's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch, I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out but he's going to feel it.
Former world champion turned analyst Timothy Bradley backed Gervonta Davis completely, calling the fight easy money for Tank. Bradley said the difference in experience is massive. Davis has spent years fighting elite boxers who know the danger of real championship fights, while Jake has mostly faced older or less experienced opponents. He praised Jake's work ethic and marketing skills, but said fighting Tank is a whole different level. Davis's ring IQ, timing, and calmness make him far more experienced. Bradley believes this fight will expose the difference between natural fighters and newcomers. Even if Jake has the size advantage, his lack of experience will show once real punches start landing.
Yeah, you prove your innocence and say that it ain't fixed. Because check this out, Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, it's gonna be taking candy from a baby. Jake Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. You know, fighting this lower level competition, and now he think he the ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no, yeah, false sense of security. Now he trying to pick on small folks, right? You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You can't pay attention to size. Hell no, I told y'all it's the size of the heart, right? In that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please. Please, man. Don't do this to boxing, bro. If there's anything, man, shoot. Man, we can put together some kind of like account for you, a GoFundMe account or whatever, bro. And we can, all your fans can give you $1, bro. So that way you don't be blowing this fight. It's easy, bro. This sparring section. You know, look, I'm so confused. I don't know what the hell to call this. The circus? Just call it a circus. Yeah, just call it a damn circus. Because, you know, 1 minute they said, oh, this is the fight.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi gave a harsh opinion on Gervonta Davis, saying his career has been too protected. He argued that Tank hasn't faced truly dangerous opponents, and that his reputation is built more on highlight knockouts than real challenges. Malignaggi said Davis's team picks safe fights to keep his image strong. Still, this view reflects a bigger debate in boxing whether Tank has truly tested himself at the top level. While many fans defend Davis's power and talent, critics like Paulie believe real greatness comes from taking risks against elite fighters. Even with the criticism, Tank remains one of boxing's biggest stars, known for his speed, precision, and knockout power.
He's trying to clown people, but then he admits that Tank is the biggest name in Western boxing. So doesn't even make sense. Listen again.
Boxing, either the fans have gone down to the dumbest level possible, or the media themselves have gone down to the dumbest level possible for.
See, so he's already trying to roast the fans and anybody who says Tank's the face of boxing, basically calling people dumb, right? Oldest trick in the book. But then he says, I understand that Tank is probably the biggest name in the West.
Naming this guy as the face of boxing. I understand we don't have anything. The fact that
I understand we don't have anything. Keep listening.
Maybe this is the biggest marquee name in the West at the moment. Right.
Maybe this is the biggest marquee name at the moment in the West. He is the biggest name in the West. Name somebody bigger. Right? Point blank, period. So you're off to a bad start. Name calling, then you're acting like you don't understand it whilst mentioning he's the biggest name in boxing, and you're saying it's disturbing. Why is it disturbing?
It's certainly disturbing, but it also shows you that you can make anything into a star at this point.
Recent reports suggest Gervonta Davis might retire after this major fight. People close to his camp say Tank's focus has shifted from building his legacy to securing financial freedom. The Jake Paul fight promises one of the biggest paydays of his career, and that kind of money could let him leave boxing on his own terms. Observers say this is a smart move, not an emotional one. Davis has already won world titles and built a strong following, so continuing might not be necessary. Still, fans are divided. Some think he's serious about retiring, while others believe it's just part of the promotion to create buzz.
Go band for band on what you making. Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing, for sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got you chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates? Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight him. What does that say about Tank?
Showbiz the Adult, a popular boxing analyst on YouTube, gave a fair and detailed take on Jake Paul's boxing rise. He praised Jake for bringing new energy to the sport and attracting young and casual fans who normally wouldn't watch boxing. Jake's online fame has turned his fights into massive global events, drawing millions of viewers. However, Showbiz also admitted that Jake's matchmaking has caused controversy. Many in the boxing world believe Jake avoids fighting opponents who match his size, skill, or experience, choosing easier but more marketable fights instead.
Boxing is going to sing his praises like a hero. Though Jake Paul is definitely appreciated by the boxing world when it comes to what he is giving to the sport, especially women's boxing, okay? I mean, it goes without saying that Jake Paul, an MVP, has added to the sport of boxing. But Jake Paul, the fighter, people are over his shit. There's a huge amount of boxing pugilists in the boxing community who's over his shit. And if Gervonta Tank Davis stops that, if he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
Help you up. We're going to see about it. Help you up. We're going to see.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars.